Thank you. Sorry about that. I turned off the wrong microphone. Thank you, Shiloh, Kate, Luann. Hello. Sorry about all that. I guess I realized I had my phone I had videotaped on my phone the other day, and so I had that off. I'll start over. Hello. Welcome to tonight. I am going to go quick over Stencilpalooza. Stencilpalooza is, there we go, there's my volume, is going on right now. There is a stencil being released every day. You can buy one stencil at a time, or you can buy the week at a time, or the whole kit and caboodle. And shipping is only $1. But if you add anything else that's not Stencilpalooza, regular shipping applies. So if you want to just buy one or two of the stencils, you can. Any of the links that I shared down below are affiliate links, which just means if you place an order using one of those links, or if you use Sugar Cards by Candi at checkout, you get a small discount on the participating items, and I get a commission off of that, which helps me bring you content. Let's run to our desk. Hello. None of your business, it says. Hi, Mama. Sorry about that. Like I said, I had the wrong, I'm learning how to videotape with Restream for for my Stencilpalooza stencils so that I can upload them directly to YouTube versus on my phone and then downloading them and then uploading them. And so I had them wrong. So tonight we are going to use the stamp of the month, which is this adorable little Wicked Wishes stamp set. Here is the stencil of the month, which is called Autumn Leaves, I believe. Let me check quick. Early Autumn. And then today's stencil for Stencilpalooza is a layering stencil, and it's called Daisy Bed. And it's got these polka dots and these daisies. So we're going to get to that. I also have the Stamp Club Plus, where I have, if you order Stamp Club Plus, you get this little bag of some embroidery floss and some buttons. And then, hi, Karen. I found out about sound. Are you getting all the stencils? I do have all the stencils coming, Susan. Hi, Brandon. I have the first 2 weeks, and I am hoping to have some time this weekend to make some more cards and stencils with them. I have the rest coming to me. I am going to use this die. I don't believe it's available anymore from Spellbinders. I think I just want to use this with the, but just an oval die with a scallop would work. And then my friend Shiloh's here, and I have my sewing machine right there. And I changed the needle for the first time. And I'm hoping it's going to work for us appropriately tonight. So my color palette is inspired by the acetate, Frightening Frames acetate. I do have my acetate already foiled just because I didn't want to take the time to do all that. And I'm going to use this beautiful, you get one sheet, right? Yeah, you get two of the acid sheets and one backer sheet. I have 2 sets in here because I always combine mine. And this sheet, you can use with, or you can use as pattern paper. So this is my pattern paper inspiration tonight. So let's get started with all of that. I'm hoping to make 2 cards tonight. One with each of the stencils. So I am going to cut this down to 4 inches. And then I think I'm going to go with this plaid first. So we'll go 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'll just put this one aside because I think I'm going to go with the argyle for the other one. And I'm going to cut that down right now. Yes, I'm super excited. Thank you, Shiloh, for the tip that I did not have to have a different bobbin color because I have my black all ready to go. Like I said, I even had to Google it to see if the needles I had would work in my sewing machine because I didn't know if I could just use any old needle. And then I have some black cardstock we're going to use for our back layer. And that's what we're going to do with the sewing part of it. And then we have our frames. So I'm going to start with the sewing part. Oh, thank you, Susan. That's very sweet of you. I am hoping to. I kept promising, and I promise I'm going to get better at it because I really do enjoy it. It's really fun. So I have my A2 card panel. And I have my stamp like this. Oh, before I stamp on it, we're going to stencil. So for my first stencil, we are going to use, I'm I'm going to break the mold and I'm going to pull the daisies away. Not that I don't like the daisies, but I'm just going to use the polka dots because I have a lot going on already with all that. So I'm just going to use the polka dots. And then I did link down below the gilded embossing powder, but I really think we're going to go Halloween. And I'm going to use the embossing powder of the month if you guys are okay with that. Because I love these big dots and I think they're just going to add something a little extra fun. So let's get our embossing ink and my embossing pad here. And I'm just going to go in, because this is an intricate, I can just go in and kind of dab and go at circles. And I don't have to like rub. I can just go in and I just twist. See if I twist. Okay, no problem, Shiloh. I will see you later. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Have fun. And I'm just going to dab them all in and get a really good coating on that. And then I had to print something for, I have something that I'm working on coming up. And I tried to print my schedule so that I could read it and have it at home to remind me. I'm trying to remember where to put this. And it printed like the tiniest print ever. So I'm using this for my embossing powder. So I'm going to grab that. And here is the embossing powder of the month. I have it in my jar, but it does come in our little paper resealable bag. But I like mine in my jars because I would make a mess with the bag. And this is an older jar. I have just a few left that I've been using. And but we get our nice big jars that are a little wider. But I decided I am using what I have. And I want to use the old ones up first. All right. Let's see, I might not have got it perfectly covered. Look at that. So, it's quick covered. We're going to go over very carefully and just wipe that little bit of corner away, a little bit there. And then this is a black with a little bit of a silver. It's called Werewolf. Actually, I feel like I need a little bit more right there. Because there has a couple different, the silver in there too, sometimes I think the silver is a little bit bigger, so it's not catching. So I'm adding a little bit more to those circles. Because what a fun background. Okay, so I'm going to set this off to the side for a second so we can get this out of the way. You can't tell, if you didn't notice today, I have my hair down. I almost never wear my hair down, but I have discovered, and I'm just going to share this little personal part with you guys. I've had migraines all of my life, and last week or so I've had them very badly. I've had headaches, and I was sick a couple weeks ago really bad, and I remember I was going to do that live, and I have discovered that if I keep my hair, I haven't worn my hair up at all this week, and I haven't had any headaches. And then I wore my hair up for just about 3 hours this afternoon, and I had a headache. So I took my hair down. And I'm hoping that it will go away. So I did want to tell you that. If you get headaches, try not wearing your hair up. All right, here we go. We're going to heat set. So this weekend, we got a lot of unexpected rain today. Talking about rain. It was a deluge of rain this afternoon that I was not expecting. So I'm not sure if my plans tomorrow morning have changed because I don't know how wet the ground is. So tomorrow I hope to make a few videos using some of the Stencil-Palooza stencils. All right, oops, we didn't set this one. All right, if I get it all, I'm just twisting it in the light. But look at how fun that is. It's got a little bit of specks in it. So, okay, well, I want to unplug that right away because I got to get my sewing machine ready here. Now, I am not perfect with sewing. I can promise you that. And the one thing I would like to learn to do is figure out how to sew on my acetate because I think that would be really fun. But tonight we're not going to attempt that. Now this is going to be kind of hard because I don't know if we can't see this on camera. So I am kind of just sewing off to the side. I apologize for that. But it's not an easy thing to show. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of adhesive tape runner. I'm just going to put it right in the center just to kind of hold it in place. Because I did notice that by putting my adhesive all around and then sewing, I was gunking up my needle. So I'm going to try not to do that. I'm just going to put a little bit down. And then I'm just doing a zigzag. I have this little, I'm going to show you a little Janome Sew Mini, where of course my thread just fell off, that my mama bought me a while back. And I got it all threaded. So hopefully I'll be able to sew here a little bit. And I'm just going to do a quick zigzag. And my friend Shiloh that was here, Shiloh Miles, if you go to her channel, she does have a how to sew on your cards video that helped me a lot. I'm just going to sew quickly here. So let me know if you guys have any weekend plans. That'd be fun to know. I'm excited because fall is coming. Fall is in the air. And then I'm going to turn my card. And it's not going to be perfect. Like I said, I'm having fun sewing on my cards. And I'm still learning my machine and what I can and can't do. Right, and I'm turning it again. Oops, I really moved it that first time. That's okay. Yeah, I mean, I've worn my hair up a lot in my life. I mean, I usually throw it up all the time. But I just discovered that it was really bothering me lately, so I thought maybe I would try not wearing it up and see what happens. And it's really helped me this week. Not have it all the way up. All right, we're almost done here. All right. So, just gonna pull it off. And so, like I said, I'm not perfect. I got it pretty good this way, but I didn't go quite far enough, and I went a little far right there, but that's okay. Lack of perfection is the goal of handmade. You know, I figure that I made this card, and it's perfect in my opinion. And it's more about me having fun than perfection than anything. My friend Lydia Felder always says perfection is for serial killers. And I'm not a serial killer. So I'm okay with that. Now I know Shiloh's got a little trick about how to get these back inside the little stringies. I still haven't mastered that yet. So what I do is I put my little glasses on. Sometimes I get a little needle out. But I'm just going to kind of tuck it back in and see if I can pull it through. I have to watch her video again on how she does her little trick on getting the pieces back through. I know there's a trick, and I can't remember what the trick is. So I'm just going to go through and try to pull that little piece. Oh, well, first of all, let's get that back here. There we go. Got it back there. So there, we got some sewing on our card. And look, when I moved it, I made the same error. So it makes it look like it's purposeful. Miles, M-I-L-E-S. Shiloh Miles. S-H-I-L-O-M-I-L-E-S. I have enjoyed her. I met Shiloh through actually with the mustache community, which is my friends. Tracy and Sue started the app Mustache to keep track of your stash. And that's actually how I met Shiloh. And the first time, and I really enjoy watching her cards. And she sews all the time. And she's just amazing. Sorry. But she is. So there, I'm just going to take that down. So now we get a fun background. Thanks, Mama. You show me that next week. And when I see you in 2 weeks. Remind me how to do that. Oh, that's right, Mom. I forgot you guys were doing that. That'll be fun. Okay, so now we've got our little kitty here. And I think we're going to pull in one more color, I think. I might do vellum, but I haven't decided yet because we have our beautiful frames here. And I have all of the spooky frames done. Oh, that one I must have done it the wrong side. So I guess that one's not done. We're going to pretend that one's done. I just did that on the wrong side. And I'm going to peel and reveal. This is the green sketch. Look at how fun these are. See how I can just put a card just like that? So we're going to pile all of those. Thank you, Penny. So I'm just, and these you can save and put on toner foil. So I'm just putting those off to the side. So I've got several of these. I did gold for 3 of them. The one I foiled on the wrong side. And then I've got these ones here. And I'm kind of leaning towards this guy. So now I think I really want to practice this weekend. I'm going to try to practice on how I can maybe do a little sewing on here so that I could keep it. Because you know how acetate doesn't always like to stick down. But I'm okay with that tonight because we're going to have our little kitty. And I think our little kitty's going to go right here. And I can put some stuff behind it. But we are going to trim this down a little bit more. Because I just cut it roughly with my scissors. So this is just the gold deco foil. Let me get my magnet out of the way here. I'm going to go over as far as I can. I just roughly cut them before the live because I didn't want to have too many things plugged in and unplugged tonight for my lives. I'm going to cut it all the way down so that it's just that one little square. Now, because we have some gold foil, I think we can actually add some glue right behind each of these. I don't know if I have any glue dots handy. That's the one thing I don't think I have handy. So we are going to just add a little bit of liquid glue to the backs of these behind. And I'm going to put my magnet down. So I left my glue wide open on my desk. And this morning I was here trying to get ready a little bit before the live. And I'm like, oh no, I hope that's going to work. But it looks like it was okay. So I'm just going to add a few little glue dots behind, or little dots behind, because it just needs to hold it a little bit. Because we can put, I'm going to kind of put a big glob right here because we're going to put our kitty here. That's what I'm going to make my kitty go right there. I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to stick it down. And I'm going to grab my magnet and we're going to stick the magnet on in a couple spots here. And the glue does dry fairly clear. Actually, I think I'll stick one right there too, just to kind of keep it to adhere it. And then we can do our kitty. I did not cut any of these out with the SVG tonight. I just thought I'd maybe fussy cut one, or the next one we'll cut with the die. But we're just going to stamp him down on some Perfect Blend paper, if I can figure out where I put that. I have a whole pile of paper sitting here from my last few lives, and I have not put any of it away. Perfect Blend. Where are you? There it is. It's in the front. Now, what color should we have our kitty be? I don't know if I want him to be black. I'm just going to cut down like a little strip here, like a 2-inch strip. Anyone have any suggestions for what color our little kitty should be? He's going to be right here. And I feel like he needs to stick out some. But I don't know if he should be black. I'm thinking I'm going to do purple, if that's okay with you guys. Because, you know, I like purple. And purple goes around with Halloween. I mean, he probably should be a black kitty. Just because it's Halloween. But we can do what we want, right? And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go a little wild and we're going to go with Pompous. Hi, Easies. How are you? So we're going to go with Pompous. Because I think that's fun. And then I think gold. Okay, well, we can do gold too. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of the woof, wipe my stamp down, and we're going to darken him up on the edges. Because we have the gold already, and I don't know if he'll I want him to stand out a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is we're going to add a little bit of gray around the edges. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a blending brush here. I have a gray one, I do. And kind of dab it. And then push it down. And that's going to dirty him up a little bit. Kind of hard to see. I can see it in person. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I just went for it. Sometimes it's just, that's, you guys know me. I just go for it. And then I'm going to add a little bit more gray. Yeah, I like that. All right. And then I think what I'm going to do is wipe this off, and I'm going to go over it one more time with a little bit more Pampas. Pampas is quickly becoming my very favorite color. By Simon. Oops, I didn't get the whole thing. There we go. Now I'm going to bring this up. I'll show you. So he looks really, see, with that little bit of gray, it kind of gave it a blue color. He's super cute. You could have a pink cat. I could have a pink cat. It is my world. You're right. But, you know, pink is an okay color. Actually, I did a Halloween class last year, and we did a lot of pink, and I thought that was kind of fun too. I'm going to quickly, I'm not a fussy cutter, you guys, but we're going to do it. I mean, I could have used the SVG, but I didn't. I just didn't have the gumption to get my machine out and get it ready. And I don't have the Autumn Animals done, but I didn't do any of the kitty yet. Or the evil grins. The stamp is a freebie this week. Okay, so we have the stamp of the month, which is the evil grin. I can show that to you in a minute if you haven't seen it. But there's also, while supplies last, the True Love stamp set, which is it's an older stamp set from Burgess Monroe. I have it, but I didn't dig it out because it's in my retired type kind of bin, not my tired, but bin that I don't get most stuff out of very often when I'm doing lives. And I did not have time to grab it, but it is with $75. That is automatically added to your cart while supplies last. So if you wanted that, Christopher used it on Tuesday night, and it's super cute. It has a little Dracula and a little witch on a broom. They're little kids, and they're super cute. I actually think it's a stamp set I bought when I first started buying them, but I don't know if I've ever used it, to be honest. I don't remember. It's been that long. All right. So there we go. We got some fussy cutting out. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you. Now we got to add a little bit of fun to this guy. Now I think I'm going to grab some colored pencils because I don't want to dilute the color. So let me grab my colored pencils. I just got some random colored pencils. I've had these forever. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some little bit of Halloween colors on him. I'm going to, sorry, I shook my camera and I almost shut the camera off. I'm going to just color in his bow a little orange. Do some quick coloring. And these might even be, this one's a watercolor pencil. I didn't even notice that. That's okay. My inks are not water friendly, so we are not going to add any water. We're just going to color him up and add some fun little details to him. Okay, and then what's a black cat? He does do a good Dracula, yes. I'm going to give him a yellow eye because, I feel like he needs to have a yellow eye. I'm going to kind of leave the rest of the part around him white. Do I have a pink? We don't really have a pinky color, so I am going to grab the lightest pink color. That's not the lightest pink color. Excuse my hands. The lightest pink color I have for my Olos, his little ears. And then we need to add a little bit more fun color. So I'm going to find a gray black. This is a black. We're going to color in his skull with a little bit of color. And I'm going to go over some of his little zigzag lines, his little sewing lines. And that's one thing I liked about the colored pencils is because it doesn't, they're tiny enough that they're not going to dilute from the design of the cat because they're skinny. So you can kind of see the little bit of and then we'll give him a black little nose. And then I'm not going to color in his button eye because we're going to use one of the buttons from the Stamp Club Plus. Now I'm not going to add any sewing to it. I should, but I don't have a needle handy, so it's going to take, and actually it is, ooh, I just threw the button across the room. That's all right. It's a little bit of a bigger button, but I'm going to use it, and I'm just going to put him on right there. We're going to put it in right there, okay? I don't know, I might be able to add just a little bit of thread to this without having to, because I don't need very much without grabbing a needle. Let's see here. I'm just going to quick like this, and I'm going to lick it with my fingers. Yeah, this is a big enough button here. As long as I put my glasses on, my cheaters, so I can magnify everything, I can do it. And this is just like embroidery thread. And it's in the kind of the same color. So I'm just like kind of giving it, instead of putting it in a needle, I just wet it down a little bit with my tongue and just pulling it through. And actually, it's funny that I'm doing this because Shiloh did a live yesterday. I was watching her create, and she showed a cool way, that a tip of making bows, which I'm not doing tonight because I'm not adding a bow to my Halloween card because I don't want to. But she was sewing with her button like this. But I figured he's got to have some sewing on him because it's got to look like it's part of his, right? Okay. And then I'm just going to knot it in the back. So that it will stay put. All right, so Mom, your challenge is going to be, I'm going to sew on a few card bases, and then I will bring that with me when I come to visit you in a couple weeks. And then you can show me how to pull it through. How does that sound? All right, and then I'm just going to cut that little bit of thread off. I should have a glue dot for this, to be honest with you, but I'm not sure where they are. I'm looking for my bin. If I know where my bin is, then I might know where my glue dots are. They're in a white bin with a brown top. Oh, well. I actually have some of these, which are the sticky dots from Thermoweb, so I will use those. They're not quite the same, but they will work. Okay. That's what you needed to see was what? I missed Kate. We're going to add some sticky dots, which this whole sheet has lots of teeny tiny little dots, which is great for little die cuts and things. I don't know if there's even any on this one because I used it, so I might need a new sheet. There's some there. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue to his eye right here. A glue dot would be the perfect thing. but I'm okay if the thread sticks out from behind his eye, because then it makes it kind of more fun. And it might take a little bit for that to dry. So let us add our glue. I should have used dry and wet adhesive, but I didn't. Being very careful to add glue to our cat all over. I'm going to stick this guy down right here. I'm going to stick my magnet. Actually, I'm going to use this magnet this time. Stick him down. Okay. We need a sentiment though, right? So we're going to grab our piece of, moved something, I apologize. Oh, I used my little cheaters that blows things up. The little magnet cheaters. I mean, normally if I wasn't live, I probably would have grabbed a needle and thread and I would have threaded it, but I didn't, because, you know, I use 2 strain thickness of my embroidery floss. Okay, so Spooky Wishes is our stamp. I'm going to stamp that out. And we're going to stamp that in Pompous as well, because we're going to bring the same color. I'm going to do it very gently, because it is a sentiment. And then we will quickly cut that out. Hello, Jamie. Oh, thank you. I just thought it would be fun. I'm going to just cut this out with my scissors, because this is a Halloween card. You do not need to be perfect with Halloween cards. I mean, you don't have to be perfect with any card, but Halloween cards are especially fun to not be perfect with, except that I don't know if I like this. We'll see. I may end up cutting. And there is our little Spooky Wishes. And I'm going to use a little bit of dry adhesive and a little bit of wet adhesive. And that will be our very first card. Spooky Wishes. Oops. Okay. Let's dab that up. That extra glue up. So there is our first card. I think that's fun. I'm going to bring that cat up a little bit closer so you can see it, because he looks so much better when you see him up close. Like I said, you can see a little bit of that thread. I could also grab my little pokey tool and kind of stick it underneath. That's not dry all the way, so yeah, it's not dry all the way. I messed it up, so we're gonna have to redo that. Like I said, I'll probably grab a glue dot and stick that underneath just to make sure it really stays. But for now, we're just gonna leave that and let it off to the side and let it dry. Okay, for our second card, we are going to use the same color scheme, but I'm gonna grab a piece of Not Your Mama's. Actually, where's that perfect blend? We'll just use the perfect blend. And we're going to ink blend our stencil for the stencil of the month. We might combine these stencils together. Okay, thank you. Super cute. He's such a cute little. I was going to show you the incentive stamp for this month. This is the incentive stamp for this month, called Evil Grin. And if you didn't do jack-o'-lanterns, you could go in very carefully and kind of cut their faces out, or you could just mask them off. I think that's a fun little set to have. All right, so let's get our stick and stay mat out. So we're going to kind of use the same color scheme. We're going to do oranges and yellows. I'm not going to do any of the reds because the red is so bold, or we might choose a red for our cat. But let's get oranges and yellows. So I need our stamp or stencil. Oops, that's the backing. Thank you, Kate. I love Halloween cards. I love Christmas cards. I love Halloween cards. But one reason I love Halloween cards is because you really can't mess them up. You add some splatter and you're good. So I think for this, we're going to use, I might use Guppy. I might change to a brighter. And then I'm going to go ahead and use, no, that's too light. I'm going to do Slippery When Wet because it's a little bit darker than the Shooting Star. Okay. So let's grab our Guppy ink here and start first. We're just going to ink blend our leaves. We're going to do a little Guppy, a little Slippery When Wet. I think that looks pretty good for those. Let's grab our yellow. Now I have my Stick and Stay palette upside down if you were to look at the writing because I'm right-handed, so I want my ink blending tool on the right. So there's not really a wrong or a right way. If I was going to watercolor, I would, and put the watercolor in my wells, I would have it the other direction. But I do more ink blending than I do watercoloring. So I flipped it upside down so that my inks, I don't have to reach over here to grab my inks. If that makes sense. I'm going to let them blend a little bit over each other. Actually going to make the yellow leaves a little bit darker. I'm going to add a little bit more of the orange because I want them to be a little darker. Oops, I hit a spot where that's okay. And then I am going to go ahead and pull in Gur, which is the Stella Simon Hurley ink instead of the Stellar ink, because I think I want the acorns to be brown. And I'll just grab a small little blending brush for that. And we will be almost done. All right. Oh, I guess we missed a little spot right there. Let's add a little yellow to that one. There we go. So here's going to be our reveal. I'm going to cover my ink pads first. And there is our background. Look at how pretty this is. Look at how pretty that is. Now I think I'm going to take that brown brush and I'm just going to go around the edges a little bit. And I'm going to cut it down first. No, I'm not. I'm going to go around the edges a little bit just to kind of make it not so bright white. I think I need a little bit more ink. Dirty it up a little bit. And then maybe around just a little bit, because we're going to cover some of this up, so it's not going to be the middle. Okay. Then we're going to add, my favorite, my ornament gold. Let me get my spray box here so that I don't get everything everywhere. And we're going to do a little sewing on this card too, but we're going to do a little bit different, I think. So we're going to add a little spritz to that. And I added a bunch to the middle. It's kind of crazy busy. Crazy. So we're going to just dab it off. And I'm going to quickly hit it with, oh, no, I unplugged my heat tool. So I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes. If I need to hit it with my heat tool, I will. It's not super wet. So we're just going to let that set. I'm going to kind of put it up towards the top, and hopefully my fan overhead will dry, and we'll get our die cutting out here and our stamping. Okay, so for this card, we're going to add, I'm going to do a black scallop, and we're going to cut out this, but I'm going to cut it right out of the middle so that I can use this as a plant. Oh, Kate, yeah, it's a long way off here yet, but I love the change. Well, actually, to be honest with you, I love a good hard freeze because then it kills all the bugs, and then we get pretty trees. I send pictures to my daughter down in Florida of the leaves changing so that she gets her little taste of home, but she doesn't want to come home for the weather. She just wants to see the trees. Okay, so this is going to be for our little kitty. And I can save this to be a backdrop for another card. And we're going to layer it on some black. I have a small piece of black here. I do. And I'm going to go ahead. This is another A2 card panel. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out of the middle so I can use that as a mat. And this is where I'm going to do my little crazy wonky sewing. See, now that I have this, I can actually lay this on top, and then I can put something else on the top of that, like, you know, and you would never know that I cut out the middle. So I can save these for another card. All right. So now we've got these two pieces. I'm going to add just a little bit of tape. A little bit of tape just to hold it in place. That black is hard to see on there. So look at how fun that is. You move north to Central Florida. Yeah, and she's north of that. She's actually going to be in Orlando in a couple of weeks. She has a dance competition she is working at. The United States Dance Championships are going to be in Orlando, and so she's going to be working at that. She lives up in the northeast side section. I want to clean my desk off here quick before I get ink on me. Clean that off a little bit. Get that ink out of there. Get my brushes put away. Thanks, Mama. Okay, let's see how this is. It's going to need to be heat treated. So I got to unplug. Sorry about that, but I don't like to keep more than one thing plugged in at a time when it comes to heat tools. So we got to heat this up a little bit. There we go. That's better. And I think we are going to cut him down. We are going to cut him down a little bit. I am going to put him on a black mat. I just decided we need to. So we're going to cut this down to 4 1/4 or 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm cutting a little bit off each side just so the pattern kind of stays. And the edges, you know, because I had inked blend the edges up so that one wasn't darker than the other. We're going to go ahead and grab that black piece of cardstock that I already had saved. And that's what we're going to glue it down to. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of tape and attach that. Okay, so a little bit of sewing here. Hope that's okay, you guys. I will have to figure out how to do a sewing camera one of these days. I need to practice a little bit because I'm like, I can move my camera to the side. I mean, you can kind of see my sewing machine here to the right, just a little bit. I can come a little bit closer, but you're not going to see a whole lot. So all I'm doing is I'm going to set it in and I'm going to put the black edge of my cardstock. You can't see that along the foot, which you guys can't see either. Let's see if I can just twist it so you can see it so that I can kind of do that along the foot to try to keep myself a straight line as much as possible. And then I'm just going to go and do my little sewing. And the more comfortable you get with sewing, I know the faster you can go. Okay, and then I'm going to just turn. I'm actually going to make sure my needle is up, or my foot is up, because there. All right, I did that a little bit better this time. Trying to get it even. Okay, and I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to turn it. Oops, my thread is getting caught. There we go. And then I'll do a little bit more. Anybody have anything fun happen this week? Kind of just a quiet week, a busy week. Here. Oops, pull my foot up. Might have got over a little bit far on that one, but that's okay. Eyeballing is always good. We're going to go all the way. One more little, there we go. Pull that up, get my needle up. And I'm going to pull that out and look at how fun that is. Well, it's just, it adds a little bit of funness to it. And then I am going to pull those strings through, of course. And then I do want to add a little bit of sewing to this piece too, but I'm not going to worry about it being kind of in a circle. I'm just going to go for it, you guys, okay? We're just going to do some crazy zigzaggy ease. All over. I'm going to go really wonky. I'll show you what I mean when I'm all done. And I'm going to kind of go around the outside edges. I just want to add a lot of texture to this piece. We're going to cover up some of it. But I like the sewing detail because our kitty cat has the sewing in it. All right. So I just added a bunch of fun zigzaggies to the middle. That's not a working. So that's, well, awesome, ECs. I'm happy for you on that. It's not a working weekend. I do want to thank you for your hard work because I do know you work hard and are taking care of our people. So, like I said, my mama said she's going to teach me how to go through those. I'm not going to worry about doing that back part of that too much right now. I actually can hide some of that with the cat this time because I can put my cat right down on there and you'll never see those little pieces. But we do need to get the back pieces. So all I'm taking is some regular Scotch tape and I'm going to tape it down. And this is where my friend Shiloh, I mean, I've always known you're supposed to have the same, when you sew, you have the same color bobbin as you do thread, but you don't even know that I have white bobbin, do you? Unless you look at the back. But you're not going to see the back once I put it down, right? So this is not my best part. Let's see, what time is it? We're going to run a little over, but not too bad. Just while I stick this guy through and pull him through. Hopefully I can do it the right way without making a mess. There's him. I think I got it, Mom. I think I might have figured it out. Now I just got to figure out where this guy is. See, he went all the way through. I sewed him around at the edges. You see that? So I got to kind of pull him out very carefully without ripping my paper or the threads, which of course is not what you want to do when alive. But it's Friday night, right, guys? We can craft a little bit longer. All right, I got that all the way through, and then we're going to go back here. I think he was right here. that him right there? It is him right there. Look at that. I did it. I did it. I did it. I'm proud of myself. All right, so let's tape those pieces down too. This is so much better than hand sewing on a card. I mean, I know we've got stitching dies and I have some stitching dies, but this is easy. Easy peasy. Oh. Cut that piece off too. I just need to get a better pair of scissors for that. So we've got that wonky piece like that, and we got to get this guy through. And of course, he did come out of a piece, but we're going to just pull it through. If there's a hole right there that he missed out on, I don't think I can get him through there. So we're just going to kind of pull him through and not worry about it. I know some people leave the ends of their threads visible because that's kind of can be fun too, especially on a Halloween card. Ooh, I may not be doing that right. Yeah, that one almost made a big boo-boo, 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 boo. It's hard to see the black thread on the black. Okay, we're going to leave them guys on here for some funness because I'm not going to mess my card up. We're just going to tape that down. Okay. Cut that off. We're just going to leave him. We're going to leave some threads. I'll sew them after and stick them down underneath if you guys are okay with that. So you don't have to sit here and watch me. So we're going to put this right here in the center. Ooh, look at that shimmer. But we're going to pop that guy up. So now we got to get our kitty in our sentiments. Oh, I actually do too. I mean, it used to be a thing a long time ago, and then I don't know. And then, like I said, my friend Shiloh does it, and I was like, I can do that, and I have fun. I mean, that's what I originally got my little sewing machine for. So you'll probably see me start sewing on a lot of my cards. Not necessarily every live, but a lot of my cards. I'm going to go ahead and put this guy right down here. I'll put him up a little bit. Yeah, I think we're going to put it up a little bit so we can stamp our sentiment right there. Okay. So let's get our kitty out of there first. We're going to line this up. And we're going to grab our spooky wishes. And I'm going to do this because I don't want it to get dirty. I'm going to, I'll just use a piece of the acetate. This acetate. I can line it up right there. Spooky wishes. I'll go down. Yep. Okay. We're going to use black ink for that because we're going to add it in. All right. Spooky wishes. And then we need our little guy here. So we're going to go ahead and put him back in. Move my sentiment off to the side. This time he's going to get black. He's going to be black. And make him black. And I'm not going to make him perfectly black because he's darker, almost darker to this one side than he is to the other side. And I'm okay with that. Oh my gosh, look at how cute he is. Look at how cute he is, you guys. Okay. Quickly, we're going to fussy cut this guy out, and then I will color him. We'll get him on our card. He doesn't take too much to fussy cut out. I mean, I could literally cut off his whiskers. You wouldn't know. And you could actually even stamp him down on the cardstock where I wanted him to, and his whiskers would be underneath. But like I said, fussy cutting is part of the fun homemade end of it. I could have used an SVG file, and that would have had the perfect edges, but it's Halloween, and I'm okay with the imperfections. Oops, I cut that one a little close. I was rushing a little too much. That's okay. I could actually cut him right on the edge too. Let's just do that. I'm going to go back and cut him out, guys. We're just going to go ahead and cut him out, and then we'll make him black all the way around. Okay. Hope you're okay with me changing that up. I'm going to go off this a little bit so it doesn't stick to my, all the little pieces don't stick to my stick and stay mat. So I am going to cut off his whiskers a little bit on this side, but that's okay. We'll just cut him out. A little bit faster since I cut him too close. You know what else I'm excited about? I think I told you guys this last week. Preseason football has started. So I only have 1 week left, I believe, maybe 2 weeks left to my first college football game. I don't think it's next weekend. I think it's the weekend after. For some reason, I feel like it's my mom's going to have to sit through the Cyhawk game with me, because I think it's going to be when I'm visiting my mom. If we get the Cyhawk game, I really hope we do, because I'm not going to be in Iowa. And the Cyhawk game is the Iowa State Cyclones versus the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's like our Super Bowl here in Iowa. It's awesome. You know, all the state games, you know, against the university. And I have a perchance to cheer for my Hawkeyes. However, my son's girlfriend did go to Iowa State, so I kind of have to pretend to like them a little bit. All right, we just got to cut out the little bit on this tail. And because he's a little monster kitty, I'm not going to worry too much about it not being perfect. I mean, I lost a little bit of the detail, but I could always edge it with a black marker. But I think this time we're just going to leave him plain, and we're going to color him in a little bit. Let's give him a purple, because you know me, I love my purple. This is a purpley pink. Now this is watercolor friendly ink, but we're just going to color him in with the colored pencils again. We're still going to give him his little bit of his yellow eye. And then let's grab this purple too. Oh, I guess it's not going to make too much of a difference there. And then I'm going to do a kind of a brown looking skull. You're not really going to see it because I ended up covering it. It's pretty dark. But in person, I can see there's a skull there. And then for his eyeball, we're still going to color it. Oops, that's the wrong color orange. That's the wrong watercolor. We're still going to color it orange. And then I am going to grab that light pink one more time for his ears. And get him on our card. And I feel like he's got to be popped up too. Let's grab one more piece to pop up. Okay. I'm going to cut the teeniest tiny piece for his tail. Get a piece on here. Get a piece on his head. And then I want to do just a little bit on his tail so it doesn't stick. Flop down. I mean, you could let it down. You could have the tail part. That's too thick. We got to cut it down even teenier. Let's go, and I'm just going to cut just a little sliver. See if that's skinny enough. Add that to his tail right there. And I was going to add some black splatter. I kind of forgot to do that too, but that's okay. Oh my goodness, the tape doesn't like me tonight. Okay. Look at that. It's not liking me tonight. Because it knows we're over. A little. Okay. Here we go. We've got our little cat. We're going to center him right in the middle of our card. And there we go. Card number 2. So I hope you guys enjoyed me. I'm going to put those away a little. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me tonight. Here are our 2 fun cards. And I'm using the stencil of the month. I used part of the Stencil-Palooza stencil and then the stamp of the month. So I hope you guys had some great time. I appreciate you guys all so much. And I will see you guys next week. We will be playing with the inspiration box. So, and then of course I will have both my videos for Stencil-Palooza come up on Sunday. I have them ready. Last time I know I started the one video, it was the same one. So I will make sure they are the correct videos this time. So have a great rest of your night and I will see you guys next week. Bye.